Every single day, millions of people around the world bite into a piece of crispy, golden fried chicken. And more often than not, that chicken comes from one name: KFC. With over 29,000 locations across more than 145 countries, Kentucky Fried Chicken has become one of the most recognizable brands in the world. Its red and white logo, smiling kernel, and signature crunch have transcended fast food to become a part of global food culture. But have you ever stopped to wonder, how does KFC maintain the same taste and texture across continents? Where does all that chicken come from? And what's really inside that secret blend of 11 herbs and spices? The answers are not just about food. They're about industrial design, global logistics, and closely guarded culinary secrets. In this documentary, we're going to uncover the entire journey of KFC's fried chicken. From its humble beginnings at a roadside gas station in Kentucky, to the high-tech processing plants that prepare every drumstick, to the precise hand breading and pressure frying techniques used in every restaurant, we'll follow every step of how KFC creates a product that's fast, flavorful, and fiercely consistent. You'll see how each chicken is raised, processed, and portioned using modern automation. The breading technique is timed down to the second. And how the iconic flavor is preserved across thousands of kitchens through careful training and rigid quality control. But this story isn't just about technique. It's about the evolution of fast food, the balance between tradition and technology, and the human obsession with flavor. So the next time you sink your teeth into a crunchy wing or juicy thigh, know that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than you might expect. If you're curious about the science, secrets, and scale behind KFC's global fried chicken empire, don't forget to subscribe, because the next time you eat KFC, you'll know exactly what went into it. The story of KFC begins not in a boardroom or a laboratory, but at a dusty roadside gas station in the small town of Corbin, Kentucky. The year was 1930. The United States was in the grip of the Great Depression, and a man named Harlan David Sanders in his 40s was struggling like many others. With no formal culinary training but a strong work ethic, he opened a service station and began cooking meals for travelers who stopped by for fuel. His kitchen? Just a table in the back. His menu? Basic Southern staples, but one item stood out: fried chicken. Customers kept coming back, not for the gas, but for the food. Sanders was not satisfied with ordinary frying techniques. Pan frying took too long. Deep frying dried out the meat. He wanted chicken that was crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and fast enough to serve in a busy setting. After years of trial and error, Sanders discovered a method that changed everything: pressure frying. It combined the speed of deep frying with the tenderness of slow cooking. Using a modified pressure cooker, he could fry chicken at high temperature while sealing in moisture, and do it in under 10 minutes. By 1939, Sanders had perfected the method and developed a seasoning blend that would later become legendary, a mix of 11 herbs and spices kept secret from the world. But despite his local success, disaster struck. In the 1950s, a new interstate highway bypassed Corbin entirely. Sanders' restaurant lost most of its traffic overnight. At the age of 65, he sold the business at a loss, living on a small Social Security check. Most people would have given up, but Sanders didn't. Instead, he hit the road with a pressure cooker in his car and a dream in his heart. He drove across the country, going from diner to diner, offering restaurant owners a simple deal: use my recipe and cooking method, and pay me a few cents for every chicken sold. In 1952, he signed his first franchise deal with Pete Harmon, the owner of a restaurant in Salt Lake City, Utah. The deal was a success, and the beginning of something much bigger. By the early 1960s, Kentucky Fried Chicken had become a national phenomenon. The image of Colonel Sanders with his white suit, black string tie, and Southern charm became the brand's face. He personally visited stores, trained staff, and even inspected kitchens to ensure quality. In 1964, Sanders sold the business to a group of investors for $2 million, but remained the company's public ambassador until his death in 1980. From one gas station in Kentucky, KFC had grown into a global chain. Today, that vision lives on in over 29,000 stores worldwide. But the heart of KFC's success still comes down to three things. 1. a unique cooking method. 2. A secret seasoning recipe. 3. A brand built on consistency. Coming up next, where does KFC's chicken actually come from, and how does it get from farm to fryer with strict safety and quality controls? Let's go behind the scenes of the supply chain. Every piece of chicken you eat at KFC starts long before it reaches the fryer. Behind every drumstick and wing is a vast, tightly controlled supply chain designed to deliver quality, safety, and consistency at global scale. KFC sources its chicken from some of the largest poultry producers in the United States, including Tyson Foods, Pilgrim's Pride, and Perdue Farms. These companies are not just meat processors, they are vertically integrated agribusinesses that oversee the entire life cycle of the chicken, from hatchery to harvest. Raising the chicken. The process begins at large-scale poultry farms. Chicks are raised in temperature-controlled environments with carefully monitored feed and lighting schedules. Contrary to popular myths, no growth hormones are used in U.S. poultry farming. They're actually banned by federal law. Instead, chickens are bred through selective genetics to grow quickly and yield consistent meat quality. Feed is precisely formulated to balance protein, fat, fiber, and micronutrients. Veterinary staff monitor bird health throughout the life cycle. The result? A broiler chicken ready for market in about 6 weeks. Still, KFC has faced its share of controversy. In 2012, the company was accused in China of using hormone-injected chicken. KFC denied the allegations, stating that the growth rate was due to natural breeding and optimized nutrition. A year later, parent company Yum Brands terminated over 1,000 suppliers in China after discovering antibiotic misuse and implemented stricter audit systems and supplier tracking protocols. Even in the US, consumer watchdog groups have pressured KFC to improve transparency. In response, KFC has publicly committed to meeting or exceeding USDA food safety regulations and to reducing the use of antibiotics critical to human medicine. Transportation and cold chain. Once the chickens reach target weight, they're transported to regional processing plants in refrigerated trucks. Temperature control is critical. A fluctuation of just a few degrees can compromise freshness or safety. That's why the entire journey is part of a cold chain system, a temperature-controlled supply network that spans from farm to fryer. Upon arrival, each shipment undergoes inspection to confirm temperature, appearance, and compliance with KFC's specifications. Birds that don't meet criteria are rejected immediately. From here, the journey shifts from biological to mechanical. Coming up next, inside the high-speed, highly sanitized processing plants, where chickens are defeathered, scanned, sorted, and portioned using robotics and real-time sensors. Once chickens arrive at the processing facility, efficiency becomes everything. These plants operate at industrial speed, processing hundreds of birds per minute, yet every step is carefully calibrated for food safety, precision, and quality control. The process begins with stunning. Chickens are rendered unconscious using either low-voltage electrical currents or a controlled CO2 gas chamber. This is done to minimize suffering and ensure humane handling. Next, the birds are placed on an automated conveyor line, where rotating blades make clean incisions at the neck to sever the main arteries. This allows proper blood drainage, which is critical for meat freshness and color. After bleeding, the birds move through a hot water bath, kept between 60 to 65 degrees Celsius to loosen feathers. Rows of rubber fingers then rotate at high speed to remove feathers in seconds. What follows is a level of automation many people never expect in food production. Each chicken is scanned using optical sensors and imaging software that can detect surface abnormalities, bruises, wounds, or signs of disease. Any bird that fails the scan is rejected from the line. Automated blades then open the abdominal cavity, and robotic arms extract internal organs with surgical precision. Organs like the liver, heart, and gizzard are retained. Other parts are separated and processed into feed or byproducts. The remaining carcass is washed with high-pressure water or food-safe disinfectant spray to eliminate surface bacteria. Sensors measure the weight and shape of each bird to determine how it should be portioned. Finally, the chicken is cut into uniform pieces: legs, thighs, breasts, wings, using computer-guided saws and blades. The cuts are then vacuum-sealed in sterile packaging, labeled for traceability, and moved to cold storage until shipment. It's a level of precision that would impress even an aerospace engineer, and it ensures that every piece arriving at a KFC kitchen meets the same exacting standards. Once the chicken reaches the restaurant, it's time for the most iconic step in the entire KFC process: the seasoning. The formula is one of the most closely guarded secrets in the food industry, known only to a handful of people. Legend has it that Colonel Sanders wrote the original recipe by hand on a piece of paper, kept in a safe at company headquarters. To prevent replication, the recipe is divided between two separate suppliers, each responsible for blending only part of the mix. Only when combined at the restaurant does it become the famous 11 herbs and spices. While the exact ingredients remain secret, food experts and historians believe the blend includes paprika, garlic salt, celery salt, white pepper, ground ginger, mustard powder, black pepper, and MSG, monosodium glutamate, which enhances umami flavor. In 2016, a handwritten note discovered by Colonel Sanders' nephew appeared to contain the original recipe. When tested, the result was a flavor 95% identical to KFC's fried chicken, according to blind taste testers. But even with the right mix of spices, the technique matters just as much as the ingredients. In every KFC kitchen, staff are trained to follow a highly standardized breading and cooking procedure. It starts with a marinade, usually buttermilk or brine, to keep the meat moist and help the seasoning adhere. Next comes the breading process. Each piece of chicken is placed in a large tray of seasoned flour, then pressed, turned, and coated exactly 7 times by hand. This isn't just ritual. It's essential for ensuring that the crust forms evenly and stays intact during frying. Then comes KFC's biggest innovation, the pressure fryer. Unlike traditional deep fryers, which expose food to open oil, pressure fryers cook chicken in a sealed, high-pressure chamber at around 185 degrees C, 365 degrees Fahrenheit. This reduces cooking time to 7 to 10 minutes, prevents oil saturation, and locks in natural juices while producing a signature crispy texture. After frying, the chicken is placed on a draining rack to remove excess oil. From there, it enters a heated holding cabinet designed to maintain temperature and texture without overcooking. Before serving, every piece is checked for color, crispiness, and size. Any substandard items are discarded. This final inspection step ensures that every bite tastes exactly like the one before it, no matter where in the world you are. Today, KFC operates in nearly every continent, with standout performances in places many wouldn't expect. In China, KFC is not just a fast food restaurant, it's a lifestyle brand. With over 5,600 stores, China is KFC's largest and most profitable market. The brand has adapted its menu to local tastes, offering items like congee, egg tarts, and even Peking duck wraps. In Japan, KFC has become a Christmas tradition. Since the 1970s, Japanese families have ordered buckets of KFC for Christmas dinner. The demand is so high that customers place reservations weeks in advance. In other markets, such as South Africa, the Philippines, and the Middle East, KFC continues to expand by localizing spices, using halal-certified chicken, and integrating regional side dishes. And yet, the core remains the same: seasoned, hand-breaded, pressure-fried chicken, served hot and fast. Despite its success, KFC faces ongoing challenges. Concerns over animal welfare, antibiotic resistance, and sustainability have pushed the brand to adapt. KFC has pledged to reduce antibiotic use across all U.S. chicken suppliers, improve welfare standards by 2026, explore plant-based alternatives to chicken, such as their Beyond Fried Chicken trials. In the kitchen, automation is slowly increasing. Some KFC locations now use robotic breading arms and smart fryers to reduce human error. But the signature hand breading technique is still core to the brand's identity. And in an age where customers demand both flavor and ethics, KFC is investing heavily in traceability systems, carbon reporting, and packaging innovation. Colonel Sanders once said, "I made a damn good chicken." Today, KFC is trying to make that chicken better for the planet too. From a dusty gas station in Corbin, Kentucky to the bustling streets of Shanghai and Tokyo, KFC's journey is one of perseverance, invention, and flavor. It's a brand built not just on chicken, but on a vision that demanded speed without sacrificing quality, that took a home-style Southern recipe and scaled it to a global phenomenon. that preserve tradition while embracing technology. Every piece of KFC fried chicken carries with it the legacy of Harlan Sanders, the genius of pressure frying, the mystery of 11 spices, and the power of a global system that never sleeps. So the next time you open a red and white box, remember, it's more than just fast food. It's a story fried into every bite. If you found this journey fascinating, don't forget to subscribe, because behind every world-famous meal is a process you never expected, and a legacy you'll never forget.